Tell me who Sarah is.
I like butter naan and
Butter naan.
butter chicken.
You love butter chicken.
Yes.
What else do you like about India?
I like how the people are kind.
Oh, you've been very sweet. I want some masala. The differences between Indian men and African men was I really wanted to know, does size matter?
Size does not matter.
This means that you've met quite a few men in India. Be saying that. So boys, size doesn't matter.
Be patient with Indians. I love India. It's the best thing that could have happened to me. From the people, the country, the animals, the nature, everything about India. And the food. It's amazing.
Okay, so in 4 years, you're telling me that there was only one incident of racism, and that too a very small percentage of racism involved in it.
It's calm, life is peaceful. Generally, I think Indians are more good-hearted or pure-hearted.
Okay.
Yes, compared to Africans.
And have you attended any marriages in India?
I was there cutting the ribbon. If you're coming to India, you have to open your heart to receiving love in a way that we don't get it back home. I know why. I don't want to leave India because I actually like it and I want to stay here.
There must be men you must be liking or...
Wait. So I generally don't have crushes because I've always had that mentality of date to marry. One person that I did crush on. I'll tell him when I leave India that I used to have a crush on him. I had planned on going back home around August, and at that time I still had a crush on him, and I'd made up my mind I was definitely going to let him know. And I was still having the crush.
Will you marry for if the guy is rich, or will you marry the guy if you're in love with him?
I would choose love any day.
In Zimbabwe, the concept of dowry, it's there.
Yes, in a flipped manner.
In a flipped manner as in?
As a girl, I receive the dowry, or my father does.
Okay, your father will get the dowry
Yes.
because he's giving his daughter to a man.
So in Zimbabwe now, the dowry is like a form of a thank you because a wife is a very precious thing.
Wow.
The value of the girl, for example, is she a virgin? Is she not a virgin?
Oh.
Yeah, the prices of dowry. I've heard crazy amounts like $50,000.
Whoa.
Or even in an argument, don't talk to me, I paid for you. You can't respond to me, I paid for you. So it comes back over and over.
Probably the divorce cases in Zimbabwe are very little as compared to what India is facing right now.
Generally, it's the woman who has a disadvantage. But she cannot leave because she cannot be independent outside this man. So people stick around, but I cannot count the number of times someone has asked if I give service.
Hi Sarah, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, and how are you?
I'm doing good. First of all, before starting, I really want to tell you that I was very excited for this podcast. There are two reasons why. First, we've never had an international guest on the podcast. And second, you coming to this podcast is totally justifying the name potato because potato is a very convenient vegetable. We can fit everywhere. It's diverse. We can put it in any of the dishes that we eat. So this podcast technically is for anybody and everybody. So I'm very happy to be doing this podcast with you.
I'm really glad to hear that. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay, so first of all, tell me who Sarah is and where is she from and what is she doing in Chandigarh?
Okay, so basically, I'm a student, biomedical student from Chandigarh University. I come from Zimbabwe, but along the line, I became not just a student, but a dancer as well.
Oh, you're a dancer.
Yes.
Okay, so you already caught my attention. What does dance mean to you?
Dance is life.
It's life.
In simple forms, dance is life. Yes.
So you're into all the forms?
No, I do Latin dance and kizomba.
Kizomba.
Yes.
What is Kizomba?
So Kizomba is a dance from Angola. It's
Okay.
a partner work dance, basically. Yes.
It's a partner work dance.
Yes.
So you need a man to dance.
Man, woman, anything.
Okay, so it's
Yes.
basically a dance form, very relaxed, but you need a partner.
Yes, you need a partner, and it's a dance that you can do, friends, family, anyone. Yes.
Okay, and you just told me that you're in Chandigarh University. How is that? How did that come to your I mean into your plans? How did you plan on coming to Chandigarh and studying?
Funny story, I'd never planned on coming to India at all.
Okay, I'd like to
So after high school, I always knew I wanted to go study abroad. But I did not have a destination in mind. I just knew I'm leaving Zimbabwe at some point. So I stayed around 6 months after graduation, knowing that at some point I have to go to university, but I don't know where. Then my dad's friend just suggested try India. 1 week down the line, I was admitted, and here I am.
for us, it is so surprising to listen to people who consider coming to India for education because we as Indians we go to other countries for the same purpose. But it feels good that you guys come here and study, and it is very nice knowing that.
So the thing is, if you're in a country, sometimes you don't know that the gifts that you have. For example, Indians are very known for their medicines, right? And medical studies. So given I was a medical study student, India could have possibly been the best place for me.
So, what are you exactly studying right now?
Biomedical science.
You're into biomedical sciences.
Yes.
What exactly do you plan to become in future?
So I studied biomedical science because I wanted to take a pathway to doing MBBS. But along the journey, I discovered that that's not what I wanted to do. But I still had to complete the course, which I've done. And now I want to study psychology.
Oh, you want to study psychology?
Yes.
And will that happen in India only?
Yes.
Chandigarh?
No, hopefully not. Yes.
But how do you like India otherwise?
I love India. It's
What,
the best thing that could have happened to me.
what about India do you love the most?
From the people, the country, the animals, the nature, everything about India, and the food. It's amazing.
What do you like the most when you want to eat something?
I like butter naan
You like butter
and
naan.
butter chicken.
You love butter chicken.
Yes.
You know, have you been to Delhi ever?
Yes.
So there's this place in Delhi. It's called the Mughal Mahal.
Mughal
They
Mahal.
serve the oldest and the most authentic butter chicken ever made.
Okay.
So I recommend that you should go to that place and try that because if you're a butter chicken person, you'll love that place. You'll fall in love with that place.
Okay.
What else do you like about India?
I like how the people are kind.
Oh, you being very sweet. I want some masala.
No, generally, in my experience, or at least I think they're kind because they're kind to me. Everywhere I go, whether is it Punjab, Himachal, Goa, Mumbai, anywhere, the people treat me very well.
So you've never come across any, you've never been a part of any racism and any sorts of, eve teasing in India because I've heard a lot of stories, but I would want to hear yours.
Okay, so in terms of racism, I haven't experienced racism. And I would like to think that sometimes, yes, racism is there. There was this one time I traveled and I was trying to buy some sweets from a small shop, and the aunt couldn't even talk to me. And I realized this kind of feels like racism, but it was very tiny, tiny hint of it, but nothing too serious.
Okay, but
Yeah.
that could be because I mean, a lot of people in Punjab that way are not very fluent with English also. So she maybe there was a problem for her to communicate or something like that. What do you think?
Okay, so I have experienced a lot of people who can't speak English, but generally the people that I meet are enthusiastic, and I can feel it in their energy that they can't speak English, but they are very interested in me. With this specific auntie, that was not the case. I could really feel it, even the way she was looking at me. I did consider that, okay, so this is what racism feels like. Yeah.
Since how many years have you been in India?
I've been here since 2021, so that marks 4 years.
Okay, so in 4 years, you're telling me that there was only one incident of racism, and that too, a very small percentage of racism involved in it. So I'm very proud of my people in India. I'm very happy to know that. It feels good. It feels good as an Indian because it is, because I know a lot of cases where things have gone a bit weird with the foreign or the international students coming in. But I'm very happy to know that there has been absolutely no case of racism with you.
So, that said, personally, there hasn't been any racism, but the challenges I faced simply because of other Africans is like trying to find an apartment and they simply just tell you. So, to be honest, I think I have experienced racism, but I wasn't looking at it from that point where I'm like, this is instant racism. For example, I walk into a broker's shop and before I even ask him about the apartment, he's like, no, no flats, Katam, no flats. So, so that's the type of racism I would say. And even like just generally looking, asking for directions, sometimes people do turn you down simply because you're African.
Well, that could be the case because you're an African, you can tell me better. But in my opinion, that could be because, in general, in India, they are very skeptical of giving their flats to youngsters and single people because they think that okay, they're going to bring in, if it's a boy, he's going to bring in girls. If it's a girl, she's going to bring in boys, and there's going
Mm,
to be a lot of alcohol, there's going to be drugs and everything. So they're in general very skeptical
mm,
about giving their flats to students like that.
yes.
So how has your life been in India? I mean, tell me something about your traveling, or you've made friends at the university. Tell me something about that.
So I have traveled. Personally, I'm proud of my travel journey. Yes, I'm very proud. When it comes to college life, that I would say is a very disappointing journey from my expectations of how college would be growing up in Zimbabwe and how I won't say college, maybe it's just Chandigarh University. So I actually expected in Zimbabwe now college, we call it university, not college. They are colleges. But university is the type of a very strict life. Strict in the sense that you're independent, entirely
So
independent.
this you're talking about Zimbabwe.
Yes, this is
Okay.
Zimbabwe. You're entirely independent. You're considered a grown up. Your decisions are your own. And that is what makes it challenging. That if it's assignments, well, the lecturer just walks in, writes something on the board, tells you this is what we're talking about, just a little bit of the topic. The rest is your duty, right?
Okay.
The rest is your duty assignments, no checking up. Submitted by this day, that's it, right? Then come to India, and it felt like I was redoing high school. So for me, I was very much looking forward to be independent, forming my own timetable, schedule, and all that. And fortunately, I did not get into the hostel. Otherwise, I would have died, right? So I stayed outside in my own apartment, not PG again. And the way they teach, it's basically food on a silver platter.
Well, because I think this is what happens in India. I mean, the professors they're after your life, that you have to,
Mm,
if you've come now, you're their responsibility.
mm,
So they're going to, take that spoon and put it in your mouth and let you know, okay, this is how it has to be done. And if
yes.
you don't do it, then they'll be after your life again. Okay, why are you not doing this? So this is how things happen in India.
To a greater extent, I did enjoy being spoon fed, right? Because that took away my responsibilities. If he's teaching whatever he's teaching, that's what I'm going to study. That's what comes in the exam, right? Which is good. But for a person like me, it took away that sense of, okay, I'm doing something important. I have to be enthusiastic. I have to discover things by myself. But if I'm just being given everything, that urge to study, so I like studying. I like school, I like research, I like science. So them giving me everything. You know, in high school, we didn't even, the last 2 years of high school, we didn't get notes. We did get some, but not entirely. You have to go and read, have your notes, show up in the exam, right?
Okay.
Now, I'm going back to that point where the teacher gives me the notes.
You just have to go through it and
Just
you
go through it. So
give the
that
exam.
that made me lazy, basically. So that's the side of the classroom. Then outside the classroom, that was probably the worst experience. The first time I experienced this was at a concert. They had a concert, some artists came to perform. And to my shock, I'd actually invited my friend from a different university. I told him, there's a concert, let's go and enjoy. We get there, and there's a barricade, males and females. And
Oh.
I stood there and I was like, I I think I was around 21 that time. I flew from my country. I left my parents and everything. And you told me you don't trust me to know my boundaries. I'm living alone in a foreign country and you put a barricade so that I can't watch a concert with my friend.
See, I'll tell you why this happens in India. Why? Because there have been episodes, and they just want to be careful. They just don't want to be, again a part of uh, any breaking news again. So they're just a bit extra cautious for
Yes.
because they just don't want anything back to happen.
But you know, when you do things like that, it actually pushes students to be rebellious. I know it happens in the open. They don't put that barricade, they put it either way, things are going to happen. But the more you enforce such restrictions on students, the more they are
Right.
going to rebel. So,
I think that probably happens, yes, with a lot of people, but can't really comment on that because even I have studied abroad. I was not in India
yeah.
for my education, for my higher education, so probably can't comment on it. But yes, I've listened, I've heard stories from my friends about this. Okay, there's a lot of restriction.
Mm.
Then they're like, no, but we as it is will do it. No, we will not tell them, or we will hide, or we'll have our own way and we'll do things. So yeah, probably I second that. I second what you're saying. That okay, this pushes people to become more rebellious. They do more things that you don't want to do, or the authorities don't want you to do. So
Yes.
it actually happens. You were telling me about the traveling that you've done in India. Where have you traveled? What cities have you seen? What states have you seen?
Okay, I'll do cities just in case I forget the state.
No problem.
I've been to Shimla,
Okay.
Kasoli, Solan, Manali, and a place after Manali, I've forgotten. Then I've been to Amritsar, I've been to Jodhpur, I've been to Udaipur, Mumbai, Goa, Godkana, Pondicherry, Chennai, and Nashik.
That's some traveling. Even I haven't traveled so much in India.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, which city did you like the most?
So this is biased. The first time when I came, one of the first places I saw was Pondicherry. So that was
Lovely
a
place.
hard travel. It wasn't just about I'm traveling. So it has an emotional attachment to it. It's one of the first cities I told myself I have to visit. And guess what? I only managed to visit it in February this year.
Okay, you visited this year. Last
Yes,
4 years, you were not able to visit
the plans
Pondicherry.
were not adding up. Yeah.
No, but how did you like Pondicherry? You loved it?
It's calm. Life is peaceful. You know, there's no city rush, waking up and you've got the beach. It's the dream life.
So you went with friends?
I'm a solo traveler.
Oh, you're a solo traveler.
Yes.
So you've done all these cities on your own? I mean, alone?
Not all of them. Some I did have company. Yes.
Okay, so you have friends in India?
Definitely, of course.
Acha, so how's your circle like? I mean, you have people from Zimbabwe. I mean, you must be having friends from Zimbabwe also, but most of them are Indians or what?
I have a very small circle.
Okay.
I could probably count them on my fingers.
So I think it's good to have a small circle. I mean, good solid friends, but a small circle is fine. I think
Yes.
it's fun that way.
I like it either way. Technically, I have been a loner, so I can say I did have friends, but not those friends I rely on. So it's only recently that I started getting into that. I've always had one friend since I came. Then the others, they were there, but not those people, not intimate circle type of friendship. Yes. So I generally like one-to-one conversations. So in group conversations, I'm quiet, which maybe is not why I do make lots of friends. So
So, but I think you're an introvert, you're telling me.
I think so.
So, but it's good to be an introvert. No, you tend to catch a lot of things around. You can listen to a lot of things that people are talking about. You can have a better understanding of that person's personality, a lot of things. I mean, introverts that way do a good job understanding people. They have a clear picture of how the person is like.
You can be an introvert who's not observative, right? I'd like to think I lie in between. I do try to observe. Yes.
Okay, I've been dying to ask this question. What I mean, let's compare people. I mean, what are the comparisons that you've noticed or differences that you've noticed between people from Zimbabwe and people from India?
Okay. So this particular one is something that I don't know if people notice, but it's one of the things I noticed, which I think is too much detail.
And that is
But generally, Indians have elegant hand gestures.
elegant hand gestures.
Yes.
Like, give me an example.
Like the way I'm sitting, right? I'm also learning by observing, but somehow the way you move your hands just has an elegance to it, especially the females. Like their hands always look elegant, whatever they're doing. It's just gives this sophistication.
Well, this is new to me. I mean, I haven't noticed that. I'm going to actually, I'm going to observe this now.
Yeah.
But sophistication through hand movements.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe like the way they move their hands is softer than the way we generally would do it. It has a leisureness, just something elegant about it.
Well, Indians can be happy about this. Coming from you, they must be. I mean, listening to this, they must be very happy.
And like I said, this is an observation. It started with my classmates. When I noticed even the way they were writing on the book, I was like, it looks, if you could say poetic, if you could use that word, somehow it's poetic, even just
Wow.
writing in their notebooks.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yes.
No, this is actually new to me. I mean, very okay. I mean, I'm happy. I mean, because I tend to move my hands a lot, so I'm happy to know that okay, this looks sophisticated to you.
Yes. And probably you wouldn't notice because you've grown up around it. It's the normal to you. So,
Probably. And other differences, anything else?
differences. This one, I would think it's biased, but I will still say it because that's how I see it. Generally, I think Indians are more good hearted or pure hearted,
Okay.
yes, compared to Africans. I've only spent 4 years in India and the rest of my life in Zimbabwe. So I've had more time in Zimbabwe, maybe to see the good and bad side of people. But generally, Indians are more welcoming. They do things for you in terms of taking care of you. And I would understand that that happens because I'm a visitor in the country. But my experience is different from my fellow African friends, where it's like I'm walking in Chandigarh. I stop by a shop, the bai offers me chai. For me, that's something that lightens my heart. He offers me water. So back home, I was actually discussing this today, telling someone that we don't have public points for drinking water
In
in the city.
Zimbabwe?
Not in Zimbabwe, in Harare, the capital,
Okay.
where I stay, we don't have public drinking water. And
Hmm.
even walking into a shop, it's not guaranteed that they are going to give you water. Here, I get offered.
No, but yeah, I mean, that is how Indians are, but don't you think they overdo it sometimes?
Okay, I'm a child at heart, so I never get tired of it. It feels like it's love to me. That's how I see it. I'm a foreigner, I'm a girl, whichever the case, it's love. And also another thing I've seen is even the times I know sometimes it's not that safe, but given I'm a very comfortable, confident solo traveler, this is my thanks to the men in the environments that I've walked in who made me feel safe. Even, one of those where a driver goes out of his way to take me exactly where I need to be so that he drops me, if it's like the hotel, he drops me right there, waits for
Wow.
me to get in, then he drives away.
Well, a lot of people need to listen to this because this is a new insight. Because, see, the situation has it, we listen to a lot of negative things happening in India.
Yes.
So it is good coming from you. But now that we're talking about men,
Yeah.
let's compare the men from both Indian and African men.
At this point, I feel like my fellow Zimbabweans would disown me. But again, so there's the good side and the bad side
Okay.
about Indians are gentle. The guys are generally gentler, right? That comes as a pro and a con at the same time, right?
How can it be a con?
Too gentle?
Too gentle.
Yeah,
Okay,
too
sometimes
gentle.
sometimes you need that
Sometimes
aggressive side also.
not aggressive, sometimes you need that firmness.
Okay,
Yes.
so Indians lack that.
Yeah, Indians are softer basically than Africans, or at least I've met a number who are softer compared to the ones that are not. Whereas in Zimbabwe, yeah, generally hard people. Or maybe it's not that they're hard and soft, it's the intentions. So back home, guys are not really just into you. Like
Okay.
there's no that, oh, I like you as a person, I want to get to know you as a friend. Usually there's always an intent behind it that to me doesn't come off as a good way. It's transactional. Then with Indians, or at least maybe if Indians do it, they hide it better in my presence. That's what I can say.
Okay.
Mm.
So this means that you've met quite a few men in India to be saying that.
Okay, I'll take that.
And where did you meet them? Like at dance? You dance because you've been socializing, so you meet
Mm.
people that way.
Definitely, I've made a lot of new friends in the dance community because I started learning in Chandigarh, but we do travel. Like the trip to Pondicherry, it came through a festival that I went to in Pune.
Okay.
Yes, so I had to go there for a festival. So I did meet, yeah, I do meet many wonderful people.
And this includes men also, right?
Both men and women.
No, but just I mean, we were talking about men, which is why I wanted to know more. So you have you dated anybody, any Indian man?
No, not yet.
You haven't?
Not yet.
Okay. So are you on dating apps?
No, unfortunately.
Oh, you're not on dating apps.
No.
Because a lot of people I talk to of your age, they usually have a lot of almost everybody's on dating apps. Then they meet people. That is the new Instagram these days. I mean, they want to meet people and then they decide, okay, this is the person I want to get romantically involved with. This is this, and this is I'm going to friend zone. So you don't do any of that?
Okay, so I have that old mentality, an
Okay,
old mindset where I find it more exciting if we're talking the way we're doing. Online, it has no emotion. I can send you a laughing emoji, I'm not laughing. But if I'm talking to you, even if you don't want to smile, I can see in your eyes that you're smiling, right?
okay,
So and given I do go out. I stay in Kara and I come to Chandigarh for dance. I do get opportunities to meet people. I think the issue with people my age is we actually don't want to step out of our comfort zones, being our house or neighborhood, to actually go out and meet people. For example, and I know it happens because of the way the society is. Like you're just walking in the street, someone says hi to you, you strike up a conversation. And this happened to me in Pondicherry. I was cycling to the beach and I did notice that, oh, that guy looks kind of African. Then, funny enough, I was trying to take a video of the road while cycling. Then I realized my camera is dirty. I stopped to clean it and he asked me for directions. Then, boom, that was it. We became friends.
so he wasn't an African, but
No, he is African.
okay, he
He's
was an
from
African.
Algeria.
Okay.
Yes. And same thing. Okay, I think maybe in Pondicherry it's slightly different because it's a tourist area. So people are generally open to meeting new people. Like went alone, but I came back with travel buddies. I had lunch with someone every day. Yes. So, what's your experience with dating apps?
Well, I have been on quite a few in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some good experiences also, some bad ones also. But yeah, I've met some really nice women on these apps. Some of them are very good friends. I've dated a few, but obviously things did not go as per what we thought.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's a good experience. The best part about these dating apps is, you know the objective. I mean, everybody, the intention is clear on a dating app
Okay.
because you don't have to beat around the bush. If you like someone, you beat around the bush. You're not very confident in talking about it and stuff. But through these
Mm-hmm.
dating apps, you know what to do because even the other person is there for the same reason.
Same reason.
So
Okay.
that becomes a bit, convenient that way.
So, what are like some of the intentions of dating apps? The things that you find, like, what are you going there? I know it's called a dating app, but what are the intentions that people have?
Well, mostly I think these days people are there for a lot of nobody looks for a relationship on a dating app, in my opinion.
Okay.
People may differ, they may have different opinions to it, but I think nobody. I mean, most of the people I know, they are not there to get into a relationship. They're mostly there for a one night stand or probably have some fun. Because see, everybody wants to explore the other
Mm.
gender, no? So that is how it happens, and that is the most convenient way to do things. I mean, you match, you talk a little, and then you have that vibe going on, and then you can that way it helps. I think the dating apps, they're very helpful because it is better than meeting someone at the bar, holding that, getting that courage to talk, going up to that woman or the man for that matter, and talking to them and letting them know, okay, I have hots for you, I really like you. So I think that way dating apps are more comfortable. So you have your way also, you're in your comfort zone also, and before you face that person, okay, that person is interested or she's not interested or he's interested or not interested. You already know that. So things are a bit convenient there.
I see.
So you haven't been on any of the dating apps you were telling me,
I think the only dating app I know is Tinder.
but you haven't been on Tinder
No.
also. So how do you? I mean, see, you must be. I mean, you dance, you socialize. There must be men you must be liking or you must be crushing on, something like that. I mean, give me an insight on that. I would love to know that.
So I've had somehow, weirdly enough, I don't get crushes. Right.
I don't buy that.
Wait. So I generally don't have crushes because I've always had that mentality of date to marry. No casual flings, nothing, because I don't see the point in that, right? And of course, you do have a crush. Like, I wouldn't call it a crush, but I did have this one person that I did crush on. Yes, and I'm so grateful that they didn't do anything because I would look at them and ask myself, okay, you like them, you think they're hot, then what? Then what?
Well, I think in that way, I mean, you could have gone up to him and you could have talked, and probably that intention of date to marry would have been justified. I mean, you could have dated him and then could have gotten to know him more, and then things could have escalated. You never know.
So in my mind, I was very clear that I just want to be his friend. Looking at him, I'd already calculated the chances of us getting married. I don't see it happening personally. But
Okay.
I did get to befriend them, and now we're cordial, and I'm very good with it. But this happened after the crush ended.
Uh,
So now it's just I see him. I still light up when he walks into the social. I still do. But it's now coming from a different place where when I see him, I think, huh, I used to have a crush on you. That's nice.
so you tell him,
No, I've never told
or
him.
you've not told him.
I'll tell him when I leave India that I used to have a crush on him.
That may not happen because you plan on studying
Exactly.
more in India, so you will never
Exactly.
tell him.
So I had planned on going back home around August. And at that time, I still had a crush on him. And I'd made up my mind I was definitely going to let him know. And I was still having the crush. But now that it's gone, it doesn't really matter anyway, because it's not going to change how things are. I'm happy with the fact that at least we're now friends. So, not friends, but cordial. Yes.
So you just told me that you're someone who will date to marry.
Yes.
So, I mean, a lot of our generation, I mean, a lot of people I know would want to, experience the other aspects also, that physical intimacy and everything with someone. So you're someone who doesn't want to do that. You just want to get married, and then you'll be like, okay, boom, this is a surprise. I want to, I want to explore this now.
So on that note, that's where the line changes, where I have tried, but my mentality did not allow me to find happiness in that environment because to me it felt wrong. All right. So it took me some time to really accept that this is who I am, this is how things are. But then I have this thing where I don't like things that challenge me. And if I get something that challenges me, I really just want to break it down. So I did try, and eventually I freed up my mind. But I still came back. Now, this is no longer a thing of guilt, shame. It's now a thing of, okay, really, what do I want for my life? I really want one partner. And yeah, that's what makes me happy. So,
So basically, so it's like, okay, you have experienced it, but you're like, no, this is not for me. I don't want to do it. This is me. I want to go in this direction,
yes.
and I will do whatever I feel is right.
Yes.
You're quite a thinker, aren't you?
Oh, I have realized that I'm an overthinker. Or maybe I just overthink some things. But as of today, I used to be an overthinker. I've just let go of those things. Let go of trying to be in control, letting go of, expectations, just letting life go the way it goes. Yes.
See, I was just beating around the bush because my only objective of behind you asking the differences between Indian men and African men was I
Yes.
really wanted to know, does size matter?
Size does not matter. I have heard that it's in the way you use it that makes the difference.
Okay.
And it's also a connection thing. But so generally, girls' bodies are different. For example, we can have the same tea. You like it more, I don't like it, right? Same tea, but we have different
Tastes.
tastes, right? So there are people who are better than others. That's not even a lie or a thing. So some are better, but it also depends on how the girl sees you. So that's what's going to matter. If she has a soft spot for you, probably your game is going to be elevated. If she
Correct.
doesn't, it's going to go down. But that said, there are people who are just better than others. Yes.
So, boys, size doesn't matter, is what Sarah is telling me. But okay, you have to up your game, to reach a point where the size should matter, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, you told me that you will date to marry. How are marriages back in Zimbabwe? And have you attended any marriages in India?
Yes, I was so grateful last year in November. I didn't attend just a wedding, it was my friend's wedding.
Wow.
Yes.
So, you were one of the close friends around the bride.
I,
She was the bride, right?
I was there cutting the ribbon at the beginning of the wedding.
Oh wow.
Yes.
That must have been experience for you.
I actually missed work for that wedding and I got into challenges at work. But when I was there, I thought to myself, I'd always wanted to attend an Indian wedding. And I figured, okay, I told my boss I'm coming at 2 a.m. I was working night shift. I'll come at work at 2 a.m. At 1:30, the groom hadn't even entered yet. He's there on the horse outside. And I figured, you know what, screw this. Right, that was my first screw this moment. I waited. Then, after the ceremony, I don't know what it's called, walking around with the priest. At that time again, that might have been around 4, 5, or 6, I don't remember. I told myself, you know what? I prayed for this, screw this, I'm not going to work at all. And we ended up going back home together and we did the rituals at home and we bid her farewell.
Wow, must have been
Yes.
fun.
Not just fun. For me, it was emotional.
Emotional
You
also.
know, seeing a person who I met her when she was still single.
Hmm.
I was with her when she had the boyfriend, and then she told me, oh, they're getting married. And I was like, okay, okay. So I was really happy that she found that love, and I was honored enough to be able to actually be there. And I was planning on going to work, but she told me, Sarah, don't go to work. No, she didn't say don't go to work. Don't leave yet. Come with us at home. And it was even better than seeing her in a red langa. It was even better because those are things that they don't show in on movies. They don't show it on TV or anything like that, or at least I haven't seen it from the depiction of India from movies. So I was really honored that, oh, this is what happens behind, the glamour, the glamorous
Which
wedding
is shown.
event. Yes, then this is what happens at home. And for me, that was even more than I asked for. And that was even more worth it than the wedding.
So, did you, what did you wear? I mean, did you try on any Indian clothes?
So I don't know what it's called. I think it's like a mix of Westernish, but it is an Indian suit.
Indo-Western, they call it, I
Yeah,
think.
it's an Indo-Western thing, which was yellow for haldi. Then I did not have enough time to get myself a proper sari for the wedding, so I just wore this long blue dress.
Okay. Would you like to wear a sari sometime?
I have worn saris. I've worn
Okay.
saris twice.
Okay, so how do you like it?
It's lovely.
Yeah.
It looks good. Yes.
So, okay, let's get back to the wedding. I
Mm.
mean, you've attended a wedding in India. How are the weddings in India different from the weddings back in Zimbabwe?
Okay. So the first and obvious thing is the color of the dress. In Zimbabwe we have taken on the white wedding, but that's a Western culture. So in Zimbabwean culture there is what we call rora. That is the tradition where the groom comes, although this is talked about before the actual day,
Mm-hmm.
where the father of the bride gives him a list of the things that he requires. This includes like cows, clothes, and money.
Money.
Yes. So in some sense, it's not the same concept, but the word is the same, which is dowry.
Okay.
But they have different explanations. Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, even in Zimbabwe, the concept of dowry, it's there.
Yes, in
And
a flipped manner.
in a flipped manner, as in,
As in, as a girl, I receive the dowry, or my father does.
okay, your father will get the dowry
Yes.
because he's giving his daughter to a man.
Yes. So the
Wow.
differences I've seen, correct me if I'm wrong, the dowry in India is given to the woman or to the other family in preparation for her to live there.
Yeah.
That's correct?
It's not legal though, but yes, a lot of people do it. Yeah.
Yes. So in Zimbabwe now, the dowry is like a form of a thank you because a wife is a very precious thing.
Wow.
So it's a form of saying thank you. So there's the special cow, which is one cow for the mother, that is for giving birth to the daughter. Then there's a herd of cattle for the father for taking care of the girl. But basically, dowry is thank you for giving us this precious thing. We are going to take it and honor it and value it. So if you're a very pessimistic person, at the end of the day, it seems like payment for the girl, but it doesn't come as payment. It's a form of thank
I
you.
was about to say that actually, but you already addressed the elephant in the room.
Yes.
But I mean, okay, all this is very beautiful. I mean, this is the first time that I'm hearing this. Okay, the man side is supposed to give dowry to a woman's side because he's taking that woman away with him.
Yes.
But do you think that money in marriage is justified in any form? I mean, in
Okay.
India, the woman's family has to
Mhm.
give the dowry. In Zimbabwe, you just told me that the man's family has to give that dowry. But is giving dowry technically justified according to you?
So, if we talk of technicalities, it might differ, but given where I've grown up, dowry is a form of gratitude, right? It comes off as a gratitude. And traditionally, the money concept, so money started when the Westerners came, but before that, they would still give off things like maybe crop, uh, naturally made juices and things like that. It's just forming a relationship between the two families. And also, like the cow that is given, it's used in rituals, you know, to appease the spirits of the mother side. So if we take away money, then the other things I do believe traditionally are essential, because it's not just a physical, marriage, it's between families. It's not just him and I,
Correct.
it's families. But in my culture, it's not just the families that are alive. We're also connecting to my ancestors and his ancestors, and that comes through like the things that he brings. They're used in rituals from my family. So that ties our ancestors together, or maybe opens up a connection between the two, acknowledging that we have bonded these families, keep the children, protect them, bless them.
But
Yes.
suddenly, this concept of dowry in Zimbabwe is appealing me. I really like the concept. But dowry in India doesn't really appeal me because the concept or the way how people define it in India, it is a bit controversial. What is your opinion on that? I mean, you know how dowry works in India. You must have seen it at the wedding also. So, is that justified according to you?
So, according to the Indian society, the reasons why they give or take dowry, I've heard, would lead me to saying it's not really justified. Because, yeah, it's not justified, simply put.
Basically, again, it's just the definition. I mean, see, here also both the families, I'm not in support of dowry,
Hmm.
but here also, I think both the families, it's just the culmination of that relationship, or it's a relationship between the families, or again, the ancestral values that you were talking about. It's the same. But here in India, since time immemorial, I think dowry, the concept that I know, dowry was given from the girl's family to the boy's family with an intention. Okay, because back in the days, the women in India, they did not work.
Hmm.
So basically, the concept was, okay, this girl is coming to is going to that place. So she's going to be there. The boy is going to take care of her for the rest of the life and everything. So this is what the parents are giving to the boy's family, so that that girl is happy in that house. Not in support of dowry, but this is what dowry was in India. But nowadays, since both the genders are working, they're all equal, things are happening. So I don't feel that there is any need of dowry now. Okay, it was back in the time, it was required.
Yes.
Maybe the thinking was like that, but now when both the people are working, I don't think dowry is justified. And like correctly you said that, okay, because it has become about something else now. It's just that, okay, dowry, it used to happen in the olden times, we will still continue doing it. It has to be done. it
Hmm.
is it is in our culture. No, it is not in our culture. It is probably, according to me, it is just a greed.
So, it, that said, even in Zimbabwe, so there are basics, right? Like I said, the mother's cow. That one, rich or poor, is non-negotiable. Do you believe in karma?
A bit, yes.
Yes.
A bit.
So it's not the same thing as karma, but basically, if you don't pay that cow, it's going to bring ruin to that generation. So that one is an essential requirement. But some people take it as an opportunity to get rich, where
Wait.
now instead of charging, I actually don't know what is socially acceptable, what is not socially acceptable, because also the dowry depends on okay, this sounds like you're paying for the girl, but let's just call it what it is. The value of the girl, for example, is she a virgin, is she not a virgin,
Oh,
is she from a rich background, the level of education. So now, if you're marrying a girl who is highly educated, her dowry price might just be up because the father has spent a lot of time educating her and all that, and probably she's going to start working. So even so, back in the day, even if the woman was working or not working, which is a funny difference between Zimbabwe and India, even if the girl's not working, the guy still pays dowry and he's still going to take care of the woman. So whether
Wow.
she's working or not, it's his duty to take care of the woman. And now that women are working, so yeah, the prices of dowry, I've heard crazy amounts like 50,000 US dollars.
Whoa.
And that's the sum. Then there's the cows and all that. It can be as little as 500, as little as 200. And go for other families, you can get as much as 50,000. But genuinely, I think dowry does not matter. And the more I grew, the more I started analyzing it from a different point of view. Like, you know how Indians spend a lot, if you have money, you spend a lot on a wedding. I realized that I will want to get married at some point, but given I have a small circle of friends, and that goes as well for my family, I don't want to have a big wedding. And even my dowry, it has to be the minimum, like to appease tradition, nothing extra. Why? Because the way I see it, I'm marrying this person. Whatever they're taking from him is taking from what I'm going to get when we're together. So even the wedding, I realized big weddings, yes, they're glamorous and all that, but that's just for show.
Correct.
Truly, it doesn't matter to me. Is it a big wedding? Is it court wedding? It has to be the minimum requirement simply because after today, after we spend that much amount, we eat, we celebrate, those people are going to go home. My father is going to go back home with the cows, right? I'm going to step into a life with this man. And after asking him, let's just say 70,000 US dollars, I could have been enjoying that money. So I don't think, I think dowry in the sense of tradition, where you do the not bare minimum, the bare necessities for traditional sake, is a requirement, non-negotiable. But anything after that, I think it's just asking for too much.
Precisely what I was saying, because see, in India also, the dowry, the amounts which are asked for, they're insane amounts. I mean, I've seen marriages where there's exchange of a lot of gifts, but apart from that, there's insane amount of money which is given by a female's family to that man's family in the name of culture. And I feel that is not fair. And again, you were telling me about the dowry system in Zimbabwe. To each their own again. But in my opinion, I still feel that all this process, it makes the purity of that relationship or that new relationship which is being formed a bit shallow. In my opinion, I am not saying that this should be your opinion,
Mm.
but this is what I feel. I mean, anywhere where these when you talk about money in a relationship, I think that the strength of that relationship, it it just goes for a toss.
Okay, I agree with you on that, and I'll give you a situation where that comes out. So, if in Zimbabwe, so generally back in the day, the women were not working, right? So, the downside of the dowry, it being a gift, that's me looking at it positively, or maybe the way I see things. But it would come to a point where the woman has nothing. She's left her house. She's come to stay with the guy. And now she cannot leave him because if he does something, she cannot leave him. She's got nowhere else to go. Then there's also that thing where he says, I paid for you, right? I paid dowry to your father. So there's a sense of ownership. That is the downright negative side of it, where he feels he has a sense of ownership over her. And for the bad men, he can violate her, he can hit her, he can be unfaithful simply because he feels he paid. So technically, he did, in simple man's terms, he did pay, right? But at the time of payment, it was a form of gratitude. But when things go wrong, it's a thing of they're arguing, or even in an argument, don't talk to me. I paid for you. You can't respond to me. I paid for you. So it comes back over and over, where it's a thing that is held over a woman's head that you were paid for, therefore you submit. So submission in marriage is essential. But now it's that forced thing simply because someone paid for you. Yes.
Exactly. This is what makes the relationship shallow.
Yes.
Because end of the day, it is about the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
In India, the mindset is different. Again, not the right mindset, according to me. In Zimbabwe, if somebody is thinking, okay, I've paid for the girl, that is again also not the right mindset.
Yes.
What is your opinion on alimony then?
I have no opinion on that yet.
You haven't come across any cases? I mean, your friends or anybody in the family or in the outer inner circle, nobody's ever gotten a divorce?
Come to think of it, I actually don't know anyone personally who's gotten a divorce.
So there are no divorce cases in
Oh
Zimbabwe?
no, they are there, but I just haven't
Very
had
little.
anyone close to me get a divorce.
So I'm assuming, okay, probably there are the divorce cases in Zimbabwe are very little as compared to what India is facing right now.
So it might actually not be the fact that, okay, yes, maybe the divorce rates are low, but that's not because people are not happy. They simply just can't get the courage. For example, what I was telling you, if the woman came, she has nothing, leaving that guy, the husband, is not something, and generally, okay, generally, it's the woman who has a disadvantage. But she cannot leave because she cannot be independent outside this man. So people stick around simply because they can't leave. So it's not that they're unhappy, it's not that they don't want the divorce, but life without that person is unimaginable. And let's just say you've got kids, you can't afford to take those kids to school. If if you were married a long time ago, people used to get married early, but I've heard that Indians got married earlier than what we Zimbabweans
Well,
did.
my parents got married very early. My mom was just 18 years old when she got married. My dad was 20 years old and they got married
Okay, my mom was 2020. Yes, and I still, we both agree that 20 would have just, it's just too young.
very young.
Yes.
See, I was coming to a question where I really wanted to ask you. See, we've talked about the dowry. Would you marry someone who is less successful? I mean, or probably would can you marry a guy will you marry for if the guy is rich, or will you marry the guy if you're in love with him?
I would choose love any day.
Love doesn't pay your bills, but
Love doesn't pay your bills, right? But I believe I am strong willed enough to build something on my own, right? So,
okay,
given that I can stand independently by myself, so this is not practical, or it's not the practical planning type of thing, but I genuinely believe that if I settle myself, I will marry for love, but I'm not going to be tested to find someone who doesn't come with money. Yeah. But if it's a worst case scenario in this life, money.
exactly what I was coming to. Because see, again, I mean, it looks good when somebody says, "Okay, I'm going to marry because I love this guy or I love this girl." But end of the day, money is very important. It is very important for that relationship to work also, because that relationship won't survive just on love. You will need to nourish it, nurture it that way, and for that you need money.
Okay. So it's solely dependent on the type of people that meet. And speaking for myself, if I'm given a choice, I will take love. Why? Because I have accepted that love does not come. Love is not the life of love without money is definitely not the same like when you have money. But I have been raised and I've enjoyed life to the point where I think I can take a simple life. I can choose a simple life in the comfort of a person who I know is solely dedicated to me. Come hell, come thunder, they are wholly dedicated to me. But this is just my perspective. I I'm not motivated by money. The goals that I have in life are not based off on how much I want to earn. So another like the studying changing in degrees, it was very difficult for me because the people who are applauding my journey were also considering that being a doctor would make you money. Psychology won't give you as much money. So I had troubles accepting that I want to change simply because of that aspect of money and telling them that okay, I want to live maybe a $2 million job and get this type of a job, but in my heart I truly feel that that is what I want. And even if it doesn't give me money, I will solely be happy by the job that I do, the lives that I change. And on the positive side, given like my experience in India, I've met good people. There are bad people, but I've met good people. I believe whatever that I choose to do in this life with a pure heart, it will reward me. I might not be the richest person, but life will be comfortable enough for me to still wake up and be grateful, which is why I'll take love because I know that I'm hardworking. I will make money. I'm not saying I want to shoulder the responsibilities, but if it comes to a point of that case, and I know this person loves me genuinely, I love them genuinely, I'm happy to take that.
Are you spiritual?
Yes.
Exactly, I could figure that out with the. I mean, because the way you talk and your opinions and your way of looking at life, it comes from a very spiritual angle. Share something on that. What do you feel? I mean, what do you think about? How does that work?
So, spirituality is a very funny thing, I'll tell you. My journey, I've grown up in a Christian household, baptized at a young age, going to church. I remember I never used to like going to Sunday school, so I used to skip that and sit with my mom. But my dad is from a traditional background, and those are different. Like, if you know anything about African traditional religion,
I mean, I have quite a few friends in South Africa.
yes.
I mean, they were both Christians. So,
Okay.
really not, don't know a lot about it, but I will want to know.
Okay. So it's a religion that is found in Africa, the traditional way of living. So this Rora is part of their tradition, right?
Okay.
With the white people coming to colonize, fa- lucky enough, they did not take away that Rora, but any traditional things that people were doing in the country was painted as negative, and they brought Christianity, and people left that. But there are some families that maintain it, then there are some families who have turned Christian. So in my dad's family, they're actually Christians, but they do follow traditions. On my mom's side, they are, it's not like they don't follow, they know tradition, they acknowledge it, but she was raised as a Christian. So growing up, I got to see the two sides of things, and I got to see how sometimes they're saying the same thing. Then when I came to India, it opened me up to other religions. So we do have Muslims and Hindus in Zimbabwe, but I'd never really interacted with them due to the fact that they actually have different communities because of different restrictions. Then I come to India, I discover Hinduism, Sikhism, the other traditions, right? And because of my curious nature, I actually took up a course, History and Culture of Punjab,
Oh,
yes, as an elective. And
wow.
that opened my eyes to Sikhism, its history, before it became a religion, when it was just still a way of life, and Buddhism as well. So, funny story, just to sidetrack, I went to Dharamshala, right?
Hmm.
In the town above it, I don't know how to pronounce that name, where the Dalai Lama is.
Uh, even I forgot the name. Yeah.
It's Macleod
It's
something.
I'll tell you. It's McLeodganj.
Yes. See,
McLeodganj.
I pronounce it in an
You were
English
close.
way.
You close.
Yes. So this happened last year in, yeah, November.
Okay.
Again November. So I went there. At that point, my inner voice was just too much, too many worries. And I thought, let me just go to the mountains to breathe. I got there, I had the most amazing spiritual experience, something I'd never found in the church. So, they tell you go to church, you find peace, you find calm. And yes, you do. But I passed by, was it a monastery? I've forgotten what it's called.
It's
Right.
called a
It's a
monastery.
monastery,
Yeah.
right? I went there. I was taking pictures, vlogging. I went there with the intent of just seeing the building. Then I was watching something on the screen on my way out, and it was saying some history. And I was walking away, and I thought to myself, Tatenda, which is what they call me in my country, why would you go back home to search on Google something that is sitting right in front of you? I turned my camera off, went back and sat down. They were doing some rituals. They finished. The moment I stepped out of that, everything was quiet.
Wow.
When I say everything, I mean everything. And I looked down and I saw my feet walking. Imagine realizing that your feet can walk. I'd never taken time to actually see that. And that whole journey was very quiet. I'd planned everything down to the dot. I'll go to this place, I'll do ABC. But I did nothing of that sort. I just sat. I sat down on the road, not like in the street, but by the side of the road. I was watching people. Everything was quiet. I could hear the birds. People were talking, but their voices sounded so distant, right? And for me, that was a very awakening spiritual encounter that I've worshipped in churches for my whole life. But I've never felt this. I've never heard that quietening of my inner voice. And that started opening me up to the fact that religion is religion. People believe what they believe. But at the end of the day, it's about your faith and how you see things. So I went to to the monastery. I wasn't looking for anything spiritual, but I came back a different person. I wasn't even looking for it,
That
right?
was your awakening, probably. Spiritual awakening.
So
And
yes,
this could be another topic that we can talk about, but okay, this is going to be a very long topic,
yes,
so
definitely.
we'll leave it here only because I have more questions to ask you.
Okay.
Now you're in India. You told me that you want to study psychology now.
Yes.
What are the plans now? Where exactly are you planning to go? Where do you want to study psychology from?
Okay. I'm looking at Bangalore.
You're looking at Bangalore.
Yes. I've heard that Christ University is the best.
One of the bests in India right now.
Yes. So Delhi, I heard it has good psychology colleges, but my fear with Delhi is the pollution. So the air pollution is bad, and I do see how I have been affected health wise by the change in environment. And spending 4 years in Delhi, I feel like I may not be able to manage in the long run. Then there's the noise. So Delhi might have been the best. So also, in as much as I want to pursue psychology, I was looking for a state that maximizes on both dance and studying. Yes, so the dance community in Bangalore is big enough for me to grow. Yes.
Well, Bangalore, but I'll tell you in terms of pollution, Bangalore is no less. Bangalore also has a lot of pollution. So if you think that the AQI there will be
Yes.
way better than what Delhi is, it can be better, but not way better than what Delhi has because Bangalore traffic is mad. You must have heard about it.
I've heard about it.
So that's going to be one crazy thing ahead.
So, you know what? I think maybe I've been to Delhi a lot of times enough for me to understand that, okay, this is not the type of lifestyle that I want. I think it's too busy. But if you say Bangalore is the same, I will comfort myself and tell myself, at least I'm near the south, right? So that gives me, again, traveling opportunities to visit places that are too far if I'm coming from Chandigarh.
So after you suppose you go to Bangalore, I really hope that you go. You complete your psychology, the course that you're looking at. Then what are the plans after that? You plan to work in India only? Plan to go back to Zimbabwe?
Marry in India.
Well, India needs good psychologists. So you
So
could make one.
I am learning Hindi,
Okay.
and if fortune favors me, I love this country to the point where I don't know what I'm going to feel like 5 years down the line. But like I said, when I was in Zimbabwe, I didn't know where I wanted to go. So someone suggested India and they did their researches physically and like spiritual researches. And they're like, this child should go to India, right? So I left Zimbabwe with the mentality that there's something for me in India. And throughout the 4 years, I was genuinely seeking my purpose in India. And recently, it's like coming with the change of direction of career. That's one thing that I tend to, the things that happened to me in India. And somehow, I actually finished college in 2023. Somehow, I had backlogs that somehow again stretched out to the point where I had enough time to make up my mind on my life's journey. And that is not being spiritual, that is not something that I say is my doing. It's just a thing of I never felt like I never felt ready to leave India. So the people I graduated with, instantly they were going other places. And that year I remember feeling like I don't want to go back home. I do not want, not that I don't miss it, but actually, yeah, I don't miss it enough to go back. And it was like that for 2 years. I last went home and came back from home in January 2023.
Oh, it's been more than 2 years now.
It's nothing. Some people have been away from home for 7 years. It's nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I never felt like leaving India. But the problem was I didn't know why. Now I know why. I don't want to leave India because I actually like it and I want to stay here. And the life in India is different from Zimbabwe. And this is something I noticed this Monday only. I was coming from my friend's house. It was around 8:45 and 9, and I noticed the shops were closed. And in Zimbabwe by 9, we're already about to have a break from the day.
Oh,
Yeah, so life is more fast paced in Zimbabwe compared to India. And I generally hadn't seen that. That is why I like being here. My life doesn't feel rushed. Like a preschool child leaves home by 7 to start their day. So this is a preschool kid. Imagine a person who works an adult. If your day is starting at 7, here the work hours are starting at 9. That's 2 extra hours of peace, you know. So I don't feel like leaving India. For now, I will study. After the 4 years, I will see if my views have changed. I haven't considered a forever yet, but all I know is for the next upcoming years, this is where I want to be.
so this is the good part about India, that you don't want to go back. You want to continue living here.
Yes.
But there was a warlike situation recently, and between India and Pakistan. So I really want to know, how was it as somebody from Zimbabwe? You have nothing to do with both the countries, technically, because you're from Zimbabwe. When these countries were, we had a small war-like situation. How did you feel? Were you scared? Were your parents worried? Did they know what was happening? How was, just take me through that chapter of life.
Okay, so to answer one of the questions, my parents knew. They were not worried. They are always like that. They keep their heads cool. If they are worried, it's inside, but outside,
They don't
pillars
show it.
pillars of strength, right?
Typical parents.
Yes. I wasn't worried. So somehow I already knew it was going to happen. And this happened, I think, a month before, where I had some sense of death. And I remember I had a panic attack. I told my dad, I'm sensing death around me. So by the time it came, I was like, that was that feeling, right? But I also know about my future. So I was like, whatever the war is going to happen, whatever's going to, I might get hurt, but I know definitely I'm not dying. So I got comfort in the fact that I'm not dying. But this one day, I was alone. There was no power in our flat. Not that there was no power, it was the blackout. I think it was around 2 a.m. and I heard something outside. So I'd never heard anything other than a plane. I think it was a drone. I don't know what it was. And it was so loud. In that moment, that's when it hit me. Like, I was realistic. I was like, wait, this actually is war. I had the sense in that moment, I was very fearful. I called my friend and I told her, I'm hearing sounds. I'm hearing something that sounds very close to my house. And I stay alone. So that was scary. I started thinking, where do I hide? I was looking at my room. There's literally nowhere to hide, nowhere to
Right.
go. Right. But after that passed, I did catch on to the excitement that Indians had. And that was another event that made me realize that I genuinely love this country because I thought the first question that came to my mind was, okay, what can I do to help? I'm generally a person who, if it's not my business, it's not my business. I'm not going to, I won't say I won't help, but really, if it doesn't affect me that much, I would distance myself from things. So, me finding myself asking the question of what could I possibly do in this time to help was something that shocked me. I was like, okay, so I really do like the country. And like I said, I had that sense of excitement given I was a child that was born in Zimbabwe after war. I've never seen war my entire life. And there was some type of excitement that, oh, this is actually happening. Like, I might, maybe, if things go bad, yeah, I will tell this story.
You
Like,
won't be able to tell the story
no, I
because
knew I wasn't dying. Whatever happened, I was very confident that I'm not dying. But I will share the story. I will even write about it. I mean, in the future, I am still going to write about it. When I do write my book, I will still include this part. Hopefully, if life is favorable, this will be the only war that I get to see.
well,
Yes.
hopes high, but just for the record, or I don't know if you know it or not, both India and Pakistan are nuclear powers. They both have nuclear bombs. So if a war had happened, it would have been something very bad. And nuclear explosions, I mean, if you read about it on Google, you'll
Yes.
know what they are and how they work. But I really hope that it doesn't happen. And I pray that this is what it stops at.
Yes.
Should not happen more.
So, how did you feel about the war?
I was not in the country. I was abroad. I had taken a vacation, a good long 10, 15 days vacation to Vietnam.
Okay.
And when I landed there, is only I got messages from my family, okay, there is this thing happening here. So we are happy that you are there. But
Oh,
I was worried that they are here, and yeah, it was giving me chills. But okay, things were in control. My dad was here, and a lot of my friends were here. So I knew that okay, whatever happens, they'll know what has to be done.
yes.
But luckily, things did not escalate. It stopped there. I came back, and then, by the time I came back, it had already stopped.
Okay.
Things were more in control. Anyway, you've been in India for the past 4 years. You plan to continue living here. But what is it that you miss about Zimbabwe the most? Home. I know home is your comfortable space. So what is that? What is that thing that you miss the most?
So, home for me, I always felt like an outsider in Zimbabwe. Even when I came to India, I never felt like I truly, truly belonged. So when I think of home, when I think of Zimbabwe, I see my family.
It's just that.
I miss my mother's cooking. That's
I'm
that's
sure.
for
I'm sure.
sure. And given I have traveled in Zimbabwe, there's technically nothing that I miss. It's just small things like maybe a particular donut from this bakery that I will want to try again. But anything that my mom cooks or just seeing my family, that's what makes me miss home.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I do. I'm the first of four. kids.
Okay, and all, I mean, you have brothers and sisters both?
One brother and two sisters.
Okay. So, okay, your parents are going to get good dowry then.
I'm not sure about me, but from the others, yes.
No, no, for you also. Because I know you just told me, but they'll have to give also once when your brother decides to get married.
At least they're giving once. Yeah.
So what are they doing, your brother and sisters?
So my brother, he's in the first year of college in Germany.
Okay.
Then my sister, one of them, she's 16. She's still in high school. Then I have a 5-year-old sister who's in kindergarten.
5-year-old sister. Wow.
Yes.
So they all plan to go abroad for studying education.
So funny enough, my sister wants to come to India. Yes, we'll see how that goes. If I'm here, she'll come. If I'm not, she'll go somewhere else.
But you plan to stay here, no? You just told me. I mean, the plan is that you never know.
The plan is that, but I was even telling her that I'm not sure I actually want to stay with you. Because if she's coming, we will be staying together.
So is there something else that you miss about home apart from your mother's food, your family, anything else? Anything specific?
Oh, I miss the church that I went to, the choir.
Okay.
Yes, they sang delightfully. Even so, I'm no longer going to church. I used to go to church here in India. Then it just went away, right? According to my journey. But definitely when I go back home, that is the first thing I'll do on a Sunday. Whatever date I get there on Sunday, I'm definitely going to church.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there any advice that you would want to give to fellow Africans or anybody coming from Zimbabwe to study in India? Is there advice or any suggestion you want to give to your people if they plan on coming to India?
Okay, so the first thing would be to really make a good research on the university you're going to. If you're a very serious student, be aware of only taking information from agents, right? Really do your research and get this information not from agents, because at the end of the day, they will tell you what's beneficial, right, for you. But if you really want to learn, make a good study information and everything, get a college that suits, and try to reach out to other students if you can. I know it's difficult, but you can still actually do it. Find people who give you the right information about, not the right, the deeper information about college life, right? That's the first thing. Then, second thing, if you're coming to India, you have to open your heart to receiving love in a way that we don't get it back home, right? And be patient with Indians. So I say this because some get really curious, right?
We tend to get a bit nosy sometimes.
Yeah, and that is annoying. Like, if sometimes I just don't want to speak. I'm not up for many questions, right? And because we're not used to that behavior, yes, people do gossip everywhere, this happens, but that aspect of nosiness, it gets too much. Where today this happened to me, the driver asked me where I stay, right? Told him I stay in Kara. He's asking me what am I doing in Chandigarh. I'm like, how is that your business? Right? So yes, if you're coming to India, you have to be patient and open your heart to the fact that this is how it is. You're going to meet people who are genuinely interested in you, and they might not speak to you the way you are used to. So you have to take heart and understand that there's that difference of how things happen, basically. So have a big heart, be patient, yeah, and be prepared for some very weird things. So for African girls, this happens a lot. I won't know exactly what caused this to be, but a lot of times you find questions that you will find offensive, right? But that's what I'm saying. Don't take it personally. For example, I cannot count the number of times someone has asked if I give service, right? I don't know how this came about, but I do know that there's that mentality that African girls give this. They'll ask you how much for a night, how much for this, how much for this. And I've never taken it as a personal attack. I know that somebody somewhere had to start doing this for a lot of the population to believe that this actually exists.
Right.
So when you come here, you need to have a good mindset and understand what you came to India for, because you will get swayed away. People do have money out there, and if you're not careful, you'll get lost in the things that they need from you. So as a girl, be prepared to face these questions. Be prepared to sometimes they do get physical. Yeah, some people cross boundaries, but keep a good heart. So I do believe that if you have a good heart, some of these things they won't catch on you. For example, these are not from my experiences. I've had people ask me, but it's just he asks me once, I tell him no, then that's it. Then with some people, they've had people be aggressive with them. So I'm sure this goes both ways for Indian girls and African girls. Then for the African guys, now that so again, I don't know what people did, but Indians are not that nice to African guys. I don't know where exactly the problem went. I do know Africans do fight. They get physical more than Indians, or at least we look more aggressive basically when we're being physical.
That's probably, I think, no, that's also because of the genetics. I think
Yeah.
the way both the both sides of people they are made.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah.
continue.
So for guys now, their lives, I've seen with my friends, their lives are generally harder. So I get away with a lot of things simply because I'm a girl, right? And it also does with my height and stature that I am no way intimidating, right? But with the African guys now, they do face more challenges. For example, rejection on some things simply because of that, right? Or people are generally not welcoming to their presence than they would be to females. So that's something that they have to come. If you come with a mindset that's already negative, and for example, you have this macho attitude that I'm going to show them who they are, who I am, they will show you that this is their country and you will get the backlash of that. But if you're a bit softer, because I do have friends, male friends, or I did have, who are very had good circles, Indian circles, or other international students, and I see the difference in his mindset and the other guy's mindset. He was welcoming to the fact that we're not the same, we conduct business differently, and he quickly changed from his African mindset to adapt to the thinking here. So it's very easy for him to get friends. But if you come with the mentality that you don't want to change, you are going
Right.
to have difficulties, because honestly, our mentalities are definitely different.
Right.
So you need to be willing to open your mindset to the differences that exist between us. And another thing I would say would be generally be respectful, especially to the elders. I've come a long way and I've seen how that benefits you. It be it your landlord, a bayi, anyone, despite their age, be respectful as a guy.
Right.
Because, with the African guys, there's a lot of ego because, like I said, we're already mature by the time we come to university. And some people do come even at the age of 20 after their first degree. So, if you're coming to study masters, so that puts you sometimes with a bit of an ego or sense of superiority because you're coming to learn with people who are younger. But if you want to make good friends, be respectful. And also, sometimes you have to come down. If you're older, you have to come down to their level so that you guys can relate. Yes.
And do you have any advices or a specific advice to them about, there could be some sort of, you may have not faced it, but okay, there could be some racism, how to deal with that?
So, for racism, you really have to be careful, right? And it's not an advice, it's not a blanket advice that I can give because it differs with the environment. Like,
Right.
where is it happening? Who is it coming from? You have to be able to weigh the situation. Is it worth it for you to keep your mouth shut, or is it worth it for you to stand up for yourself? Because I see that some problems come with the fact that people are not able to analyze situations.
Right.
And we have this thing where, yes, you're told stand up for yourself, but there are times that you have to really be realistic and not just realistic, at least just judge the situation. Is it something small enough to walk away? It doesn't take away from who you are. If someone is racist and you just leave it there, you don't have to defend yourself because at the end of the day, racism, it's something that comes from someone's mind. So sometimes I think it's just best to leave it. Unless they're insulting your mother, maybe yes, do something. But if it doesn't hurt that much, even if it hurts, sometimes it's just good to walk away.
No, more than that, I think the this racism or any such thing, it comes from a point of view or from a point where, see, there's a lot of lack of exposure. I mean, everybody is not exposed to the world, right, like that, or everybody doesn't have that knowledge or probably that understanding of how, things have to be done. Maybe that's why, I mean, some people being they end up being racists in in India or for in any country for that matter. But I think okay, that is the advice that you've given. It is a good advice. And any closing thoughts that you would want to add to this podcast?
Well, the first and foremost thing would be that I am truly grateful to have had this opportunity to discuss these differences. I've learned new things about the society that I didn't know, and I'm generally a person who enjoys learning. So being a part of this helps me, it helps you bring awareness to other people. So I'm just all in all grateful to have had this talk with you.
Well, thank you so much for doing this, Sarah. I would really want you to come back on this podcast because we had started talking about spirituality, and that's a very, very uh, interesting topic. It really interests me, and I'm sure you are a spiritual person. It would be a lot of fun talking to you about spirituality and other aspects of life. So I really look forward to having you here again sometime in the future, and I really hope that you end up in India and your plans about, you have plans to stay here, study here, work here, they see the light of success. And again, thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Hello, potato people.